Good morning, soul family. I feel inspired to make a video this morning. I just got out of bed not too long ago, so we're going au natural to do anyways, but fresh out of bed. But I just wanted to share because yesterday, after I made the reading of the day video and did my hiking around, I came home and felt myself just progressively get more and more sad. And by the time I went to bed last night, I spent the night really just trying to distract myself by anything. I watched a lot more TV, like back-to-back movies, which is really not like me to do. And I went to bed and literally laid in bed for like an hour Facebooking, which is ridiculous. But once I turned the light off, I just immediately started crying. And I probably laid there and cried for, I have no idea how long. Just deep sadness and loneliness. And I feel it this morning. Like I can feel the emotion rising now just talking about it. But I'm sharing because I think it's important to understand that the soul's journey is not always unicorns and glitter. And being willing to look at the stuff that makes us sad, the darkness, focusing on that, and maybe I don't mean focusing, but giving awareness and time to the dark stuff and the heavy stuff and the painful stuff is just as important as giving your attention and your focus to the positive aspects of life. Because if all we do is we spend our time focusing on the light, focusing on the positive aspects of ourselves and things and experiences, we're robbing ourselves of the fullness of that experience. We're robbing ourselves of the nuggets that are within that, the gold that's within that pain. And I see this in friends and clients that it can definitely become a reoccurring or repeating theme in partnerships or jobs because we're pushing ourselves so much to stay in the light and in the eternally positive aspect of stuff that you're missing the balance that is human existence. So. Coffee. I love you. So I think it's important that you see that it be seen, that even people who are working on branching into the teaching are always going to go through it as well. I look at my darkness, I look at my challenges differently now. It doesn't mean that the sadness doesn't still hurt, that I get upset when I'm sad and mad about being there, and I find myself resisting it. Like I resisted it all night. If I would have probably just let myself cry and validate that I freaking miss him and I don't want to go to bed alone and I don't want to wake up alone and I don't want to drink my coffee in the morning alone. Yesterday, when I started thinking about it, it probably would not have gained so much momentum that it has spilled over into today. But I stuck my head in the sand and I kept pushing and doing my things that I felt I needed to do. When, funny, yesterday's message was about self-care and I don't heed them sometimes, and I'm the conduit for it, you know? So I'm just another human going through this stuff with you guys, Perspective might be different. I may be having a broader tool bag of stuff that I can share and help with people, but it's also about me choosing to dig in my own tool bag and use my own resources. And I want to remind you that all of this energy Emotion is just energy in motion. My teacher taught me that a few years ago, and I have just held on to that phrase because it's so powerful when you can take some of the power away from the emotion by thinking of it that way. So the energy and motion that's happening for me is deep loneliness and sadness and regret, and I'm impressed at myself that I am not dwelling on the why and the how we got where we're at as much as I was. This has been a almost 3 month journey now of going through this alone again, and it's getting easier. Definitely, it's how separations work. They get easier over time, but the emotions are changing, and each one is valid, and each one serves a purpose, and each one brings something old with it from an old relationship, and it doesn't have to be an intimate partnership. I had stuff coming up last night from when I was young, and I just kept loving that younger self, and I found myself hugging myself and just rubbing my arm, and giving myself comfort because I didn't want to be alone in my bed. I pulled my body pillow over, and was comforting myself, because if I don't do it for me, then I can wish all I want to have someone come and do that for me. But I'm not gaining the skill and the little piece of gold, the little trick in that experience to be able to make it easier next time it comes up, to be able to show my daughter how we can do this without a partner when we're so programmed to have one, how I can show my son that he can support women as well as do it for himself. How can I support my clients better if I'm not willing to do my own work? So this has ran longer than I thought, but I wanted to share all aspects of my journey because I think it is important that you don't just put out the face that you want people to see and this perception of yourself that you want people to hold, because then people start looking at you as not being human still. And I'm very much still human, still in this physical meat sack. I just remember what I am, and I can come back to that faster. So these days of depression don't last for, a week or a month. I already feel better just sharing with you guys. So last night into the day, I'm going to let it happen. If I feel this way for the rest of the day, then I feel this way for the rest of the day. I'm not going to be hard on myself about it. But I am going to take action to feel better. I know that going and sitting in the sunshine makes me feel better. I know that taking my girls for a walk makes me feel better. I really, really, really want to go to the hot springs today because that's really where my self-care is. That's what I do for me, but it's really cold outside. It may be sunny, but it's cold, so I probably won't do that. But I just had this strong want to get the hell out of town, and so maybe I'll go on a baby road trip up to Boulder or something. I don't know, but I know that it requires action for me to feel better. And going back to bed, although it sounds great, it's already 11 o'clock and I just rolled out of bed. So I was avoiding this day. But anyways, action to help the energy move. If it's energy in motion and it's emotion, which is energy in motion, then dancing, walking, it's already scientifically proven, and people tell you all the time when you're depressed, oh, exercise. Well, there's a reason for it. It's because you're helping to move that energy out. So I'll draw on those tools because I know those things, but I just wanted to share. So I wish you all well, and I know these things are up because I can't carry them into 2016. There's already been so many layers to this cake, and there will be more to it, but currently this is what's up for the first and second days of 2016, because I'm mending my heart and learning I can do this alone again, even though I just really don't want to today. So I love you all. I wish you well. I wish you many blessings. Peace in.